Hello, dear listening public. I just from work and something came to my mind concerning the security of Africa and ways and means to protect innocent, vulnerable African from the hands of intransigent government, corrupt government, and autocratic leadership in Africa. And a recommendation that will serve as a deterrent to the suffering of African people. I'm calling on the Secretary General of the United Nations to call a session this year to discuss alongside the United Nations Security Council and all of the superpower of the world to come up with a decision to control arms and ammunition that goes to corrupt African countries. We need to look clearly into those that are selling arms to African countries, and there should be a monitoring committee put together to determine what quantity of arms go to which African country based on the government system and the stability of such government. Because the problem in Africa is that these corrupt government have army and paramilitary police forces that carry arms and weaponry and equipment that they use against innocent civilians in African country. Recommendation number 1. Any African country that doesn't have a stable democratic government should never be allowed to import arms and ammunition in their country. I would prefer for United Nations with African Union to put forces together, international forces together, that for instance, if an African country have a problem, political unrest, that force can move in and put things on an order rather than putting guns into the hands of irresponsible people who are using the guns against their own people. So this recommendation go to the United Nations Secretary General, United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, to make sure that this recommendation is pushed into action. I'm working on the documentation. Sooner or later, I'll make my way to New York to see how I can get these recommendations well put together and fashioned in a way to get it to the United Nations Secretary General so that it can become a part of a discussion as we make efforts to secure the world. Because that's the only way that peace will come. Because it's irresponsible government in charge of weapons that they are using against a citizen, then it's good enough that if the world have a monitoring system of government that is corrupt and their citizens are suffering, they should not be allowed to import any gun. It should be stopped. All gun dealers should be restricted for sending arms to this country in Africa. This is my recommendation. I'm just blowing a whistle right now as a whistleblower for 2020 with issue of arms and ammunition that go into corrupt African country. I want to thank you. I'm Isaac Alexander Yoya, a Canadian, African Canadian, a community activist, social justice activist, a preacher, and a minister of the gospel in my own way. Thank you, and stay tuned for more recommendation on this issue. Thank you.